Good morning! It's the first day in Canada. Hello from Montreal at my cousin's house. It's time to get out, get on the bus, on the subway, go to the northernmost point of Montreal and start walking and exploring the city. So let's head out. It's still dark outside because it's 5 in the morning. I don't mind because the time difference, for me, that's okay because I'm from Europe. So I have no problem getting up earlier because it would be already 11 in Europe. So let's head out and catch the bus and subway. This is the neighborhood my cousin lives in Montreal, in La Salle. Pretty empty in the morning. Montreal is a big city in Canada, very busy during the day, but now in the morning nobody around. I think the bus is coming, but all the residential streets, everything's empty. Nobody going to work yet. There's a school across here and the bus is coming. I don't know if it's mine. Got off the bus and now into the subway. This one's a brand new one actually. Last time used to be really old wagons. This time it's a brand new one. Pretty cool. Okay, let's sit down and get to the city center. That's the map of the transportation system in Montreal for the subway. I'm right here in the south, in La Salle. I'm gonna go the whole line for 26 stations up to here and then still take a bus to go further north. Now I'm the last one on the bus here. Nobody left anymore. We were driving through an industrial area and the bus was packed with people, guys working in this like industrial facilities, getting off the subway, and now everybody's gone. It's just me going all the way to the northernmost point of the island of Montreal. So nobody left anymore. And we're gonna be there soon, a couple more stations. I'm standing here at the northernmost point of Ile de Montreal. So this is where the island ends. There is the St. Lawrence stream here, and this here is the other side of the island, kind of the Ottawa River coming and joining here. So this is the exact point here around the corner, but just it's too lush to get there. Gonna be completely wet because it was raining all night. So this is where the island of Montreal starts, and we're gonna go south, try to get all the way through the whole island of Montreal. It's just interesting that the city of Montreal itself is located on the island of Montreal, but there are also other cities, so it's not just Montreal on the island of Montreal. There are some other cities here, so the walk is gonna be kind of like zigzagging on the island because I'm just gonna walk through the territory of the city of Montreal. So it should be 90 kilometers, and what I wanted to do is to do it in 2 days, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be doable because the weather is not as promising, you can see. So it was raining last night when I arrived a lot, and there's still many clouds around. So we're gonna see for today how far I'm gonna get. Might be I have to do it in 3 days or in the rain, I don't know, we'll see. But so hopefully today is gonna be a good day. Aiming to get to the city center, about like 40 or 45 kilometers, so we'll see what I can do. Is this a small beaver? Not quite sure. Let's try to get closer. But I don't think so. I think a beaver has a flat tail. So this, on the other side, down there, is the St. Lawrence River, but there's just many islands here. You cannot really tell from here. If I had a drone, you would be able to see right away. But yeah, that's it. That's the northernmost tip here. This here is a typical North American neighborhood. Wide roads, so even if you park on both sides, there's still plenty of space for a bus to come through or and then always green lawns, big driveways, houses. That's how it looks like in Canada and the States for most of the part. A lot of trees, it's all green. Very quiet neighborhood here in the northernmost part of Montreal. The squirrels in North America are always hungry. I just called it to come to me and came over. Thought I might feed it something. See? Already found something. Must be a peanut somebody threw there. And there it goes. That's Canada and North America, always full of wildlife. Behind this little island there is the real St. Lawrence River. I don't know if you can see in the distance, there's a cargo ship. There's even like ocean cargo liners. They're coming through the St. Lawrence River here to the port of Montreal. And some of them are continuing their journey through the locks of the St. Lawrence River into the Great Lakes of America. So it's one of the mightiest rivers here in North America. Just you don't see it from this angle, but we will have a chance on my walk here in Montreal. We're gonna see the river, how big it is. And one thing I want to show you, people here in Montreal, they have a flag of Quebec. When you come to schools, when you come to any government buildings, there is not even a flag of Canada outside, because they're so proud to be Quebecois. And there's even like, Canada had this problem a long time ago. They want to split off from Canada and become independent because they are dominantly French here and French speaking. So this is one of the last francophone part in North America, except the Caribbean. So yeah, there's a, how you say, secessionist movement to split off, and so Canada has to make Quebec happy and always like probably funding some stuff like the federal government just to keep them still quiet. And I think maybe it'll calm down a little bit now. Back in the 70s maybe it was a little bit more, but still, like I said, when you're walking here you won't see a Canadian flag unless it's something from the federal government. But mostly old schools, people on their houses, it's just like Quebec, Quebec, not Canada, as if you were not in Canada, but you are. Like, it's kind of interesting fact about this place here. When I was walking in Slovakia, in Bratislava, I walked by this castle and it was completely abandoned and like grown into bushes and whatever. Here there's a little tiny house, probably built in, I don't know, the 1700s, 1800s, and it's a National Historic Site, Bâtiment Patrimonial. So it's a historical site here in Canada, because it's the oldest house probably standing here on the river in the northern part of Montreal. So it's so important that they will make a park here around, and its significance is so big for the city that it's protected. And in Europe you will find castles who nobody cares about, nobody gives a shit, nobody will renovate them, but here something like this, very, very important. That's interesting. There's a car mechanic or something, but the flags outside here are all European flags. Even Croatian flag, Slovenia, Albania. That's interesting. The guy must be somewhere from, might be even from the Balkans. A lot of foreigners here anyways in Montreal. Many like from all around the world, like everywhere in North America. Montreal, a lot of from Africa, because it's a French speaking area, so many African countries, they speak French, and it's easier for them to integrate here and come in without having to learn English, as their as their new language. So even this morning when I was waiting for the bus, there was a guy from Togo who showed up and just said bonjour. So I just kind of started talking to him because I asked him, do you say bonjour in the morning like this early, or you say it all day long? So he kind of explained it a little bit to me, and then we started. He could speak English because he lived in Calgary and was a really good guy. Abbas was his name. Abbas, really great guy. And we went to the metro station together, and yeah, just had a nice chat about life in Germany, life in Africa. Togo was a German colony a long time ago, so he explained this to me, and he wondered how I never met any Togolese people in Germany, but I have not, like a lot of guys from Kenya, Tanzania. But yeah, anyways, the people here in Canada are very friendly. You can easily like start a conversation with them, and yeah, like from all over the world, and very open. It's not like in Germany, sometimes you cannot start a conversation. People are not interested in whatever, new people or something, they're just going about their day. But here it's easy to just start a conversation. So Canadians, awesome people. There is a school up there across. It says Centre de Services Scolaires de la Pointe de l'Île, Quebec. So you don't see a Canadian flag on top of the school. It's just a Quebecois flag on top there. That's what I was talking about before. I came down to the riverfront, but up here, these are some crazy cameras, guys. Look at this here. Look at these lenses up there. There's 4 of them here. I don't know what they are all about. Does anybody know what these kind of cameras serve for? That's insane. Anyways, we are right down at the water, coming to see the St. Lawrence River. There's even a ferry here going across the river. Nice, amazing blue Canadian chair. Well, if I had a coffee with me and a tumbler, I could lie down here, rest a little bit. But it's a little bit wet and I have no coffee, so it ain't gonna happen. But this is the St. Lawrence River. That's the cargo ship I showed you before from far away. Now you can actually see it. So you can see how wide it is from here. Huge, right? Here, finally, I made it onto the Broadway. Well, it's just that I'm in Montreal and in New York City. This is Broadway going through here. One day I'll make it to New York too. This is just the one here in Montreal. Nothing interesting because it's just a residential and industrial area. But we'll visit the original one too. As I'm coming closer to the port here and the industrial facilities, which I mentioned before on the bus where all the guys got out, it smells like crude oil, really strong here. As you can see there, and then down here there's a lot of tanks, and there's pipelines everywhere down here. All this fenced area here, it's all part of the port and the tankers bringing crude oil in here. It's all just industrial areas here. That's the port of Montreal with the Canadian flag this time. Must be from the federal government. So everybody's talking green, but there's a crude oil terminal being constructed down here with like some pipelines going over to here. There's excavators, and it's all construction site for the new pipelines and the crude oil terminal. So everybody's talking green, but still can't do without the oil and the gas, especially here in North America, I don't think you can just like switch to solar and wind power completely that easily, and only battery powered cars. I don't think so. That's my opinion. What do you guys think? I'm walking by here a car, and there he got a fine. I'm just looking. The minimum fine. Oh, minimum fine $71 plus 31, so it's $102 for parking. I don't know, is it too close to the, I'm not quite sure, but $102 for parking inappropriately here in Montreal. This here doesn't look like the fanciest neighborhood. A lot of abandoned houses and some old businesses, but so far it's pretty chill, like no troubles, nothing. That's one of the reasons I like to walk through cities, just to see everything. Might be you get into a dangerous situation if you go through some like no-go neighborhoods as a tourist, but I'm not quite sure about Montreal and the Canadian cities, if they are really dangerous, if they are dangerous neighborhoods like compared to the States. Like if you just as a tourist you go to Philadelphia, Baltimore, I don't know, and you just like whatever decide to walk straight through the city, you probably would get to some neighborhoods where you would not feel really welcome or well walking through. But so let's check out how it's gonna go in Montreal, if it's gonna be anything yeah, that kind of stuff, or it's just chill all day long. And just as I'm actually saying this, I'm just walking through this park, and there's like some tents down there, and there's a tent here, which I'm pretty sure it's some homeless people having their shelter here in this park. So like I said, looks like some little bit sketchy neighborhood, but so far it feels alright. Down there, there's a police car stopped somebody on the street, and yeah, just kind of what you expect from a big North American city. And you know what's the craziest thing so far? I have been walking now for 14 kilometers last 3 hours, and I have not seen even one Tim Hortons. That's crazy, guys. I'm in Montreal. Tim Hortons is supposed to be on every corner, and still not even one at all. But there is a McDonald's here, and I left so early this morning I didn't have a coffee, and I wanted to have one on the go when I find the first Tim Hortons, and I still haven't. So I'm gonna continue and skip this McDonald's and go to Tim Hortons when I reach the first Tim Hortons in Montreal. Gonna see how long it's gonna take. Might be 20 kilometers, who knows. This corner building here saying 1898. It's probably very historical here for this part of the city. Probably there was nothing back here in that time. Now, well, Montreal obviously developed as a big city and now spread all across the island, but back then it definitely was just probably some houses like that one and some small neighborhoods, but not as big as it is nowadays. We are here right at the port of Montreal. There's the container terminal here, and everywhere big trucks going down to the highway here with all the containers, cargo ships coming to here. And Montreal is probably one of the busiest ports in Canada, just because Toronto is too far inland, and the ships would come here to Montreal, maybe Halifax, Vancouver, and then from here on it goes all onto the Canadian Pacific and goes further west to the prairies, Calgary, wherever it needs to reach. their destination. But this is where it all starts from. See all these trucks? This here is a beautiful example of the houses in Canada, how they used to be, how people built like after the Second World War. They were like family homes, but nothing crazy big, small, cozy. And nowadays, if you see the new houses in North America, people long time ago, they used to have like a garden, a lawn, something, and now the house probably takes up 90% of the whole space of the property, and you have hardly any space around your house, but therefore the house is like 3 or 4 times bigger than it used to be. But this here is pretty cool, pretty neat. You know what's crazy about this part here? This is all social housing, and it's really not the fanciest neighborhood I walked through here now. But you would expect this neighborhood to be a little bit, I don't know, nicer, because here is the stadium from the 1976 Summer Olympics. And when there is a stadium and the Summer Olympics were taken here, that means the athletes should live here somewhere close by, right? And this probably would be like a place where they could live, or maybe, I don't know, maybe it would be a part of the Summer Olympics complex in 1976 where the athletes lived, and now it's just like a, yeah, just a social housing complex. Let me see. Welcome in Quebec. But like I said, must have been I don't know, fancy in 1976, but now it definitely is not anymore. This one is one of the few roundabouts here in the city, because Canadians and North Americans don't really like roundabouts, rather have traffic lights, but this is all being constructed, it's all brand new, so they're doing some renovations, and this is the stadium. Looks pretty cool from here, and there's an elevator. You could go with the elevator, you can go up all the way to the top and enjoy the view. Might have been even might be a restaurant up there where the glass is, I'm not quite sure. But something to do. I won't, because it's gonna take too much time for me today, and I'm looking still for a Tim Hortons. I want to go have a coffee and something even to eat. Now you can see the elevator up there going up to the top. It's actually a cool building, cool stadium. This whole thing is holding the roof with the cables. Very interesting. So the Olympics in 1972 were in Munich, just close by where I live, and then you have this place here, which was only 4 years later. I do have to say that this part here around the stadium is much more pedestrian friendly, with all the pedestrian crossings and people actually stop for you to cross, compared to now the busy road down to the port. Even the pedestrian light at the traffic light doesn't even go on green, so sometimes you just kind of have to wait, because there's so much like heavy trucks and driving by, so you gotta watch out. But here it's very like friendly for pedestrians to walk around here, which North America is not that famous for like it is in Europe. These are all the flags from all the countries which participated in the Olympics in 1976. So I'm curious if I'm gonna find Yugoslavia, because back then it was there was no Bosnia and Croatia, Serbia. So I'm curious if I'm gonna find it. I can see the flag of Liechtenstein, where I have been just recently, Okay, let's check this out here. But for now, I don't think I see the Yugoslavian flag. So I cannot find the Yugoslavian flag. So I wonder if it has to do something with these ones, the like whatever Olympic flags, some kind of the white and red ones. So I would think there's probably like these flags instead of like all the new countries after the Soviet Union and Yugoslavia and like Eritrea and whatever, all these countries, because they would not represent the athletes from their countries, and instead of having the flag of the Soviet Union and Croatia or just Ethiopia, for example, they just have like many of these. I'm curious, what do you think, guys? I'm not quite sure what this is about, because it says Les Grands Absents La Chine et Taiwan. So I'm not sure if it's just about the flags from China and Taiwan, or they were not at the Summer Olympics in 1976 because there was a problem because of China would not allow Taiwan to participate under their own flag or something, and they did not have an Olympic like committee, or I'm not quite sure. So something to find out later, but yeah. So there is probably a reason to all these new flags there too, because like I said, if you just put a flag of Yugoslavia, then you don't kind of represent like the athletes from whatever, like Croatia, Kosovo. Maybe somebody would be offended, I have no idea. Maybe I'm wrong. There's finally the first Tim Hortons, but it's not one by itself, it's one at the gas station. But doesn't matter, I said I'm gonna get a coffee at Tim Hortons when I find one, so let's go. Finally, coffee, the first one this morning, but actually it's noon. It's exactly 12 o'clock, and it's gonna be my breakfast. Not that healthy, but I have an idea for later what I could get. So for now, just gonna be this and a coffee. Sitting at the sidewalk at the gas station. So I got myself a water and an umbrella. I think this could be useful today, because I do want to make the 40-45 kilometers today, and if it starts raining, I at least have something. So hopefully not, but just in case.